Hi, Allison. I wanted to comment on your post because after reading what you had put, it really brought some insight on different things that I had not realized when I was reflecting upon my own experience and things that I had learned throughout the course. So you had, talked about the research practice continuum and the surprise and interest in that for you because of the fact of all of these things that we know as a fact started out as just questions, ideas, or problems. And that's not something that I really had truly thought of as well. Things like basic concepts that we have now of knowing like matter of fact, that's not something that I really had thought of somebody had to actually put in work to research this to make it factual. And and then knowing now all of the work that goes into a research design, research study, that just, it's kind of mind-blowing that these kinds of things started out as something so small. This such a small concept started off, as this big idea, question, problem, and had to go through so much to make it that way. So I never really processed that. And then when you brought it up, that definitely brought some insight into my own questions of things, of, when looking at things from a different perspective. Um, so some of the other things that you had talked about were the why research stops before or along the continuum, right? And so I didn't really think about that either. I've always known that, sometimes there's lack of funding or not enough people to participate, and so that stops. But the further question of really what are some other things that have, had the potential to be researched, to become factual, to make it through this process, but it was stopped for different reasons, because it was ignored or overlooked, or what that may look like on that as well. That was a very interesting perspective that you had that I did not think of as well. So I thought that you had some really great insight overall. I think for me, I had taken away a lot more basic concepts. Research was not something that I had a lot of knowledge in. I did have some basic understanding, but nothing too crazy. And so I think I learned a lot in the class, one of them being all of the different threats to research. And so then for me, when you were talking about the stopping along the continuum, it really made me think, was research stopped because of some of the different threats, or was it for some of the reasons that you had said, such as the funding, that it wasn't advocated for enough, that it was ignored or overlooked in a sense, and what that looks like. So, I think you had a lot of great insight, a good perspective, and it really helped me to broaden my perspective and to really dig deeper into me processing what I had learned and why this is so important. So I thank you for that, and I wish you the best, and hope you learned as much as I did throughout this course.